Pakistan was tragically impacted by catastrophic floods in 2023. Millions of people had their crops, their homes, and even their livelihoods submerged underwater. But this wasn't just another natural disaster. It was a stark reminder of a growing global issue. Our planet is experiencing more extreme weather events, and these events are severely disrupting our ability to feed the world. In this video, we will discuss the impact of extreme weather on our global food security. We'll cover how different weather phenomena affect food production, distribution, and access. And we'll see how these disruptions threaten the delicate balance of our global food supply. Let's begin. But before we do, if you want to learn more about the science behind global issues like these, then consider subscribing to our educational channel. You can watch our full-length documentary series and learn more about the important topics covered in this video. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is food security? Food security is a multifaceted concept that ensures people have physical, social, and economic access to enough safe and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and support an active and healthy life. It has 4 key pillars. Availability. This refers to the supply of food in a given area. Factors such as production, storage, and transportation all contribute to the overall availability of food. Access. Access encompasses both the economic ability to acquire food and the physical capacity to reach it. This includes considerations like affordability, transportation networks, and markets. Utilization. The way we utilize food, including its quality and safety, is also crucial. This aspect focuses on factors like proper storage, cooking, and the knowledge of balanced diets. Stability. Food security requires a stable supply over time. This means ensuring that there are no significant disruptions in the food supply chain that could lead to widespread shortages or famines. As of today, despite advancements in agriculture and global trade, over 800 million people worldwide still suffer from hunger. Extreme weather events are increasingly threatening the stability of our food system, impacting each of these 4 pillars: droughts, floods, heat waves, and storms. A deep dive into how they affect food security. Droughts. When there isn't enough water to support plant growth, it leads to dry soil and ultimately crop failure. This reduces the yield of fruits, vegetables, grains, and fibers, threatening both food supply and income for farmers. For example, the ongoing drought in California affects crops like almonds, rice, and fruits. This shortage ripples through the economy, impacting those who rely on these products for their livelihood. Floods. Excess water can be just as damaging as too little. Floods destroy crops, ruin farm infrastructure, and make farmland unusable, disrupting planting and harvesting cycles. Regions like Bangladesh regularly face devastating floods that displace millions and damage rice fields. Heat waves, high temperatures, stress plants, reducing their growth and yield. Staple crops like wheat, maize, and rice are particularly sensitive to heat, making food production unpredictable and less reliable. In 2022, Europe experienced a heat wave that drastically cut wheat production, affecting countries that rely on imports. Hurricanes and typhoons. These extreme storms can wipe out entire crops and disrupt food supply chains. An example is Hurricane Katrina in the U.S., which caused extensive damage, leading to significant food shortages and price hikes in the affected areas. Case studies. Real-world examples of the impact of extreme weather on food security. East Africa droughts. The recent droughts in East Africa have been severe and long-lasting. Countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya have faced failed rains, higher temperatures, and ongoing conflicts. This has led to a devastating loss of livestock and crop failures. Families have had to make tough decisions like selling their assets, including their remaining livestock, at a loss or even eating their seeds to survive. Consequently, millions face severe food insecurity, and the price of staple foods like maize flour has skyrocketed. Cyclone Idai in southern Africa, 2019. Cyclone Idai struck Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. It caused massive crop loss, with entire fields being wiped out. The cyclone also destroyed ports and roads, hampering relief efforts. In the aftermath, food shortages and price increases exacerbated the pre-existing food insecurity in the region. 2023 flooding in Pakistan. Pakistan faced devastating floods in 2023. A combination of unusually heavy rains and glacial melt in the Hindu Kush Himalayas led to this disaster. Crops like wheat, cotton, and rice were destroyed, and millions lost their food and livelihoods. Recovery has been slow, and food prices soared across the country. Global impacts of extreme weather on food systems. Supply chain disruptions. Extreme weather can block roads, close ports, and delay shipments, leading to food shortages in regions dependent on food imports. For example, typhoons in Southeast Asia can disrupt major shipping routes, affecting countries reliant on imported rice and other staples. Rising food prices. When extreme weather reduces production, food prices rise globally. The 2022 wheat price spike triggered by droughts in Russia and Ukraine illustrates this effect. Even regions not directly affected by the weather event experience price hikes. Developing countries. Developing countries are disproportionately women, and they lack the resources to adapt to or recover quickly from weather-related disasters. For instance, countries in sub-Saharan Africa heavily depend on agriculture for food security. Extreme weather events can easily push these nations into crisis. How extreme weather worsens inequalities, vulnerable populations. Extreme weather hits some populations harder than others. Smallholder farmers, women, children, and low-income communities often lack the resources or support systems to cope with weather-induced disasters. In India, for example, small farmers frequently lose everything during unseasonal rains and floods. Displacement and migration. Desperate measures are taken by those facing extreme weather and food shortages. People are forced to migrate in search of better living conditions. However, these displaced populations face heightened risks of hunger and malnutrition. Access to resources. Wealthier countries and corporations have the resources to invest in technology and infrastructure to adapt to changing weather patterns. Poorer countries struggle to keep up, exacerbating global inequalities and hindering progress towards global food security. Moving forward, building a more resilient future to address this pressing issue, we must take proactive steps. One-size-fits-all solutions won't work because each region faces unique challenges. Climate-resilient agriculture, encouraging farmers to adopt drought-resistant crops, improve irrigation systems, and employ sustainable farming practices is crucial. For example, many regions are turning to agroforestry, which combines trees with crops to reduce soil erosion and provide shelter to plants. International cooperation. Climate change and food security are global issues requiring international collaboration. Sharing resources, research, and technology is essential. Initiatives like the Paris Agreement and the UN Sustainable Development Goals are vital in coordinating global efforts to address food security. Innovation in agriculture. Emerging technologies such as precision agriculture and vertical farming hold promise for the future. By using data and technology, farmers can better predict weather patterns and optimize crop production. Investing in early warning systems. Robust early warning systems for extreme weather can provide valuable time for preparedness, allowing communities to take protective measures before disaster strikes. Diversifying diets, encouraging a shift toward more. Diverse diets that include a variety of locally available foods can help ensure that people have access to a range of nutrients, even when staple crops are in short supply. Policy and economic measures, governments, and international organizations can implement policies that support sustainable agriculture, provide safety nets for vulnerable populations, and regulate food markets to prevent price gouging. What the future holds, climate models predict more frequent and intense extreme weather events. Unless we take action, the poorest and most vulnerable populations will bear the brunt of these changes. Regions already struggling with food insecurity will be hit the hardest, especially in low-income and developing countries. However, there is hope on the horizon. Innovative technologies such as aquaponics, hydroponics, and gene editing may provide the tools we need to adapt to climate change and secure our food supplies. Moreover, moving towards sustainable farming practices, reducing food waste, and promoting local food systems can enhance our resilience. We must act now. The future of our global food systems hangs in the balance. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative and would like to support our cause, please consider donating. Your contribution will help us continue producing high-quality educational content on important global issues.